Hey, what is going on guys, and welcome back to another Iceborne video. A few days ago I uploaded a sword and shield video with some raw damage focused sets, and today I'm bringing you guys the best elemental damage set for sword and shield. As per usual, or as you might have come to expect, for elemental weapons, all of these sets are going to be using 4 pieces of Silver Rathalos gear for the set bonus True Critical Element. And since sword and shield is obviously a melee weapon, we will be needing other means of keeping our sharpness, which will be through Protective Polish. And since we are using Protective Polish, we are going to be speccing for level 3 item prolonger in all of these builds. For those of you who don't know, item prolonger actually extends the duration that your sharpness does not decrease via the effects of protective polish by 50% or 30 seconds. So keeping that in mind, let's get started. First up we have fire. For this one we're going to be using the Shining Wyvern Blade, which is the Silver Rathalos sword and shield. I have it augmented for 3 elemental increases and slotted with a sharp jewel. We are going to need to slot in at least 3 levels of handicraft to get it to purple sharpness, and because of the positive affinity on it, we only need critical eye level 6 to get to 100% affinity on weak spots. The armor is going to be the Alpha Silver Helm, Chest, and Boots, the Beta Silverlos Coil, and the Beta Ruiner Gloves, along with a Master's Charm 4. As a whole, this would give you maxed out fire attack, crit eye 6, 3 levels of windproof, crit boost, weakness exploit, handicraft, and item prolonger, 2 levels of attack boost, agitator and slinger capacity, and protective polish. I know some of you might be asking about Anjanath, but unfortunately, because of the insanely low affinity, you need to augment it for affinity 4 times in order to negate it completely, and even then, with max critical eye and weakness exploit, you only get it to 90%. In that scenario, the higher raw and purple sharpness allow the Rathalos to come out on top. However, you can just bring an affinity booster and completely forego the affinity augments, so if you're a speedrunner or something of the like, then this will definitely be the set that you'll want, but for the rest of us, the Rathalos set is the one that I am going to recommend. Up next we have water. For this one we're going to be using the Coralpuke SNS, the Laguna Blossom 2. I have this augmented for 1 affinity and 4 elemental increases, and for the custom mods I went with 5 elemental increase mods and 1 attack up mod, which is always going to be a Namiel mod. This is going to be your one and only last option for all rarity 10 sword and shields. I also have it slotted with a Tenderizer Jewel and a Stream Jewel. For the armor, we're going to be using the full Beta Silverlos gear, the Beta Garuga Boots, and the Flood Charm 5. As a whole, this would give you maxed out critical eye, water attack, level 4 agitator, maxed out crit boost, weakness exploit, item prolonger, 1 level of handicraft, and protective polish. With that 1 level of handicraft, we can get it to purple, and you can also get away with 4 levels of agitator on this set, which feels pretty good. Up next we have ice. For this one we're going to be using the Legiana Sword and Shield, the Nephilim Glacia. I have it augmented for an affinity increase, 2 elemental increases, and a spare defense increase. I also have it slotted with a expert jewel, and this can get to purple sharpness with 2 levels of handicraft, so we are going to be speccing for that. For the armor, we're going to be using exactly the same thing as we did for the water set. We're going to be using 4 Beta Silverlos pieces alongside the Beta Garuga Boots and the Frost Charm 5. As a whole, this would give you maxed out critical eye, ice attack, crit boost, weakness exploit, item prolonger, 2 levels of handicraft, and agitator, and protective polish. With this set, you basically trade out 2 levels of agitator for 2 levels of handicraft, so you can get to that purple sharpness, which of course is more than worth it. Moving on, we have Dragon. For this one, we're going to be using the Dragon Seal Alt Sword 2. I have it augmented for an affinity increase, 2 element increases, and a spare defense increase. I also have it modded with 5 elemental increase mods and slotted with a Dragon Jewel and an Expert Jewel. This needs to get to white sharpness, so we're going to spec for 2 levels of handicraft in order to get there. The gear is nothing new, full Beta Silverlos with Beta Garuga Boots and the Wormsbane Charm 5. As a whole, this would give you maxed out critical eye, dragon attack, critical boost, weakness exploit, item prolonger, 2 levels of handicraft and agitator, as well as a level of attack boost and protective polish. This has by far the highest element out of all the other sword and shields, almost 900 dragon, which is insane. And lastly, we have Thunder. For this one, we're going to be using one you probably aren't expecting, and that is the Sword and Shield named after me, the Legendary Bang. This is the last upgrade for the Sword and Shield workshop tree, and it has a bajillion hidden Thunder element. I have it augmented for an affinity increase, 2 elemental increases, and a spare defense augment. This can get to purple with just 1 level of handicraft, so we are going to be doing that obviously. And for the armor, we're going to be using 4 pieces of Silverlos along with the Beta Kitten Gloves and the Awakening Charm 3. As a whole, this would give you a maxed out critical eye, thunder attack, free element, crit boost, weakness exploit, item prolonger, 1 level of handicraft, and protective polish. This set technically deals the most damage, however, that is without agitator procced, and this cannot fit 4 levels of agitator, but you know what can? The Ephemeral Fulminator. I augmented this for 3 elemental increases and 5 elemental increase custom mods. This doesn't need handicraft, and we can close that 10% affinity gap almost completely with the use of agitator 4, which gives a 7% crit chance whenever it's procced, as well as 16 more raw. So even though this has less raw and it can't get to purple sharpness, the immense amount of thunder damage that it has over the Legendary Bang is what allows it to close the gap and inch it out out in damage in certain matchups. But either set is fine. One relies on Agitator and the other one is kind of more consistent, but feel free to use whichever one you prefer. Well guys, those are my sets. I hope you like them. If you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. I'm also looking for artists to commission some art from, so if you or anyone you know might be interested, then DM me on Discord. I made a post on my community tab about this a few days ago, but a link to my server is in the video description as always, so click it and let me know. Also guys, I'm going to be on vacation in the Netherlands, also known as Holland, also known as Dutchland, also known as Van Gogh, also known as Cheeseland, also known as Amsterdam, also known as Weed the City. I'm going to spend Thanksgiving over there. I'll be gone for almost 2 weeks, but do not fret, I have pre-made some videos for you and I'll be releasing them in the upcoming days, so most people will not even notice that I'm gone, but I just wanted to let you guys know regardless. Anyway, wish me luck, pray that this poor island boy doesn't freeze to death, and I want to thank my patrons for their continued support, and of course, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.